Can electric vehicles really replace petroleum ones? It's a question that has sparked fierce debate among auto enthusiasts and environmentalists alike. The surge of interest in electric vehicles isn't just a passing trend. It's a global movement fueled by the collective push towards a greener future. Yet this transition isn't as straightforward as it seems. It's a complex issue, riddled with pros and cons on both sides of the spectrum. In today's discussion, we dive deep into the pros and cons of both electric and petroleum vehicles. Electric vehicles, once a distant dream, are now a reality, and they're shaking up the automobile industry. From the earliest attempts at battery-powered roadsters at the dawn of the 20th century, to the sleek, high-tech marvels we see on our roads today, the journey of electric vehicles is a tale of innovation, perseverance, and a relentless pursuit of a greener future. Once considered a niche, the popularity of electric vehicles has skyrocketed in recent years. The reasons behind this rise are multifaceted. On the one hand, there's a growing awareness and concern about the environmental impact of traditional fossil fuel-powered vehicles. This has led to a surge in demand for cleaner, more sustainable modes of transport. Technological advancements have also played a significant role in this shift. Improved battery technology has increased the range of electric vehicles, making them a more viable option for everyday use. At the same time, the development of fast-charging infrastructure has made owning and operating an electric vehicle more convenient than ever before. But it's not just technology and environmental consciousness driving this change. Government policies around the world are also contributing to the rise of electric vehicles, from tax incentives for electric vehicle buyers, to stricter emission standards for traditional vehicles, to plans to phase out the sale of new petrol and diesel cars. Governments are pushing hard for a transition to electric. Yet it's not just about the shift from fuel guzzlers to battery-powered vehicles. It's about the shift in mindset that comes with it. It's about recognizing that we can't keep taking from our planet without giving something back. It's about embracing a sustainable future, where our transportation needs don't come at the cost of the environment. And so we find ourselves at an interesting crossroads. On one side, the traditional petrol-fueled vehicles that have ruled our roads for over a century. On the other, the new electric challengers, promising a cleaner, more sustainable future. But are electric vehicles really ready to take over the roads? Electric vehicles come with a host of benefits. Let's dive into some of these, shall we? First and foremost, operating costs of electric vehicles are considerably lower than their gasoline counterparts. Without the need for oil changes, tune-ups, and all that jazz, maintenance costs are significantly reduced. Plus, the cost of electricity required to charge an electric vehicle is far less than the cost of gasoline. That means more money in your pocket. Next up is the environmental impact. Electric vehicles produce zero tailpipe emissions. That's right, zero. They don't burn gasoline or diesel, and therefore don't release harmful pollutants into our atmosphere. This is a breath of fresh air, quite literally, for our environment and our health. Then, there's the convenience of home charging. Imagine this. Instead of making detours to the gas station, you simply plug in your vehicle at home overnight. Wake up in the morning and voila, your vehicle is ready to hit the road. The beauty of this is that it fits seamlessly into your daily routine. Additionally, electric vehicles offer a smooth and quiet ride. With instant torque, they provide rapid acceleration, making them a thrill to drive. And without a noisy engine, your journey becomes a lot more peaceful. Finally, electric vehicles are at the forefront of automotive technology. They are often equipped with the latest features such as regenerative braking, digital dashboards, and advanced driver assistance systems. Choosing electric is not only an environmentally conscious decision, but also a step into the future of driving. But before you rush out to purchase your electric dream machine, it's important to understand that, like anything else, they aren't perfect. However, electric vehicles are not without their drawbacks. Despite their many benefits, electric vehicles also have some significant drawbacks. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the initial cost. Electric vehicles, or EVs as they're often called, generally have a higher upfront cost compared to their fossil fuel counterparts. Sure, you might save on fuel costs in the long run, but the initial investment can be quite hefty. The high cost is primarily due to the expensive batteries that power these vehicles. While prices have been falling over the years, they still remain a significant barrier for many potential buyers. Next, we have what's commonly referred to as range anxiety. This term describes the fear that an electric vehicle won't have enough juice to get to its destination. While modern EVs have improved substantially in this regard, they still can't match the range of a petroleum vehicle on a full tank of gas. And if you run out of power in an area without charging stations, you could find yourself in a bit of a pickle. This brings us to our next point, the need for charging infrastructure. Unlike gas stations, which are ubiquitous and can refuel a car in a matter of minutes, charging stations for EVs are still relatively scarce, especially in rural areas. Additionally, charging an EV can take a significantly longer time than refilling a gas tank. Fast charging stations can top up most EVs in about half an hour, but if you're using a standard home outlet, you could be looking at several hours of charging time. Lastly, while EVs are marketed as green vehicles, it's important to remember that the electricity they use often comes from non-renewable sources. The carbon footprint of an EV, therefore, depends on how the electricity it uses is generated. In areas where power comes primarily from coal or gas, EVs may not be as environmentally friendly as you'd think. Now let's turn our attention to petroleum vehicles. Petroleum vehicles have dominated our roads for over a century. And there are quite a few reasons that have led to their undisputed reign. The first of these is their impressive range. A typical petrol or diesel vehicle can easily cover several hundred miles on a full tank, a distance that, until recently, electric vehicles could only dream of. The freedom to drive long distances without a second thought about refueling is a comfort we've all become accustomed to. Then there's the convenience of refueling. Filling up a tank takes just a few minutes at any of the countless gas stations dotting our highways and cities. Contrast this with the hours it can take to fully charge an electric vehicle, and it's easy to see why many have stuck with the tried and true. But it's not just about range and refueling. The established infrastructure for petroleum vehicles is vast and well-developed. Think about it. We've got millions of miles of roads designed for these vehicles, countless mechanics trained to service them, and a whole ecosystem of businesses built around them. From car washes to tire shops, the world as we know it has been molded to support the reign of petroleum vehicles. And let's not forget about the sheer variety of models and types of petroleum vehicles available. Whether you're looking for a compact city car, a rugged off-roader, a sleek sports car, or a spacious minivan, there's bound to be a petrol or diesel option that fits the bill. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Just as electric vehicles have their hurdles to overcome, so too do their petroleum counterparts. Issues like pollution, dependence on finite fossil fuels, and the ever-fluctuating price of oil are just some of the challenges that petroleum vehicles face. But petroleum vehicles too have their own set of challenges. Scene script. Despite their dominance, petroleum vehicles also have significant downsides. Let's delve into some of the key disadvantages of petroleum vehicles, kicking off with the elephant in the room: emissions. Petroleum vehicles release a cocktail of harmful emissions into the air. These include carbon dioxide, a major contributor to global warming, and pollutants like nitrogen oxides and particulate matter that can lead to respiratory problems and other health issues. In urban areas, this becomes a significant concern, as high vehicle density results in poor air quality. Next on the list is the issue of fluctuating fuel prices. Anyone who owns a petroleum vehicle knows the pain of unpredictable fuel costs. The price of gasoline and diesel is subject to international market forces, often influenced by geopolitical events and natural disasters. As a result, budgeting for fuel can be like trying to hit a moving target. Then there's the matter of maintenance costs. While it's true that every vehicle, whether it's powered by petrol, diesel, or electricity, requires maintenance, petroleum vehicles often demand more frequent care. This is due to their complex mechanical systems, including the engine, transmission, and exhaust. Regular oil changes, replacing spark plugs, and servicing the transmission are just a few of the tasks that can add up over time. In contrast, electric vehicles with fewer moving parts generally require less maintenance. And we can't forget about noise pollution. While perhaps less critical than the other points, it's still worth noting. The rumble of a combustion engine, while music to some ears, can be a source of noise pollution, especially in densely populated areas. Lastly, there's the issue of resource depletion. Petroleum is a finite resource, and though we're not likely to run out in the immediate future, the fact remains that it won't last forever. So where does this leave us in the electric versus petroleum vehicle debate? Let's continue the discussion in our next scene. In the grand scheme of things, it's clear that both electric and petroleum vehicles have their strengths and weaknesses. As we've delved into previously, electric vehicles excel in numerous areas. They're champions of environmental sustainability, reducing emissions and dependence on fossil fuels. They offer the advantage of lower operating costs over time, as electricity is generally cheaper than gasoline, and electric engines require less maintenance. Plus, the smooth, quiet ride and instant torque are undeniable perks that can't be overlooked. However, we can't forget the challenges that come with electric vehicles. The initial cost is often higher, the range may not be as extensive as a petrol car, and charging infrastructure is still in its growth phase in many parts of the world. These are real issues that need to be addressed and can't be brushed under the rug. On the flip side, petroleum vehicles have been the mainstay of transportation for over a century. They offer a vast range, quick refueling, and an extensive network of service stations. Yet they are not without drawbacks. The environmental impact is significant. Maintenance costs can be high, and the fluctuating prices of oil can make operating costs unpredictable. So, where does this leave us? The choice between an electric vehicle and a petroleum one isn't always straightforward. It's not just about the vehicle itself, but also about individual needs, geographical location, and personal beliefs. Perhaps you live in a city with a robust charging infrastructure, making an electric vehicle a practical choice. Or maybe you live in a rural area where service stations are plentiful, but charging points are few and far between. And of course, your own values come into play. Some people prioritize environmental sustainability above all else, while others may value convenience or cost-effectiveness. The question of whether electric vehicles can replace petroleum ones isn't a simple yes or no. It's a complex issue with many variables at play. As we move forward, it's crucial to continue this conversation, addressing the challenges and celebrating the victories of both electric and petroleum vehicles. The future of automobiles is not a fight of electric versus petroleum, but rather a blend of both. A fascinating dance of innovation and adaptation, the automotive industry is a realm where the old and new coexist, pushing boundaries and setting new standards. Imagine a world where the strengths of both electric and petroleum-based vehicles are harnessed to create superior hybrid models. Think of the sheer power of a petroleum engine combined with the clean, efficient performance of an electric motor. This isn't a far-off dream. Hybrid technologies are already on the rise, offering the best of both worlds to consumers. The advancement isn't confined to just hybridization. On one hand, we have the electric vehicle industry, tirelessly working to extend battery life, reduce charging times, and make electric cars more accessible. On the other hand, petroleum-based technology isn't standing still either. Engineers are consistently striving to make combustion engines more fuel-efficient and environmentally friendly. The ultimate goal, of course, is to achieve a sustainable and efficient transportation system. A system that doesn't compromise on performance or convenience, but also leaves a minimal carbon footprint. A system that respects and works within the limits of our planet's resources. And achieving this goal will require the collective efforts of electric, petroleum, and hybrid technologies. The future of automobiles is also about the integration of smart technologies. The vehicles of tomorrow will not only be more efficient and eco-friendly, but will also be more connected. From autonomous driving to vehicle-to-vehicle communication, the possibilities are endless. So as we look to the horizon, we can see a future where electric and petroleum vehicles coexist, complementing each other, filling in the gaps, and offering a more comprehensive and sustainable solution. It's a future where the question isn't electric or petroleum, but rather, how can we best utilize both? In the end, it's not about one technology triumphing over the other. It's about finding the right balance, the sweet spot where we can meet our transportation needs without compromising our planet's health. Indeed, the future of automobiles is a fascinating one, full of innovation, adaptation, and evolution. It's a future where electric and petroleum vehicles continue to coexist, grow, and improve, paving the way for a more sustainable and efficient world of transportation. The road ahead is exciting and full of possibilities. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the fascinating world of automobiles.